Hey guys, Sethley here, back with another Apex Legends video. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Now in today's video we have a pretty big one because the Revelry Season 16 Battle Pass trailer did just come out, along with the official patch notes with all the buffs and nerfs for Legends and weapons, as well as a few other things. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. So Apex Legends tweeted out saying, slay your way through the Revelry Battle Pass and complete challenges to unlock rewards like Heartbeat Harmonizer Valkyrie, the Reactive Headliner Mastiff, and Techno Rat Crypto. All this and more arrives on February 14th. So I'll start playing some clips of the Battle Pass trailer on screen right now. They say new updates coming with Apex Legends Revelry. Dig deeper into new game updates coming in Apex Legends, including remastered Legend classes, TDM, and more. Starting off with the remastered Legend classes, which I've already covered because they did release those in all of the details with that, with the gameplay trailer and the developer update that came out after that. But they say in Revelry, Legends have been reorganized on the Legend screen according to their class. You'll be able to see their associated class perk on top of that Legend's unique abilities, and this includes Assault, Recon, Skirmisher, Controller, and Support. Also, they give a brief overview of the class perks, and I'll show those on screen. For Assault, you do have more ammo per stack, as well as you can access red bins. For Skirmisher, you can reveal all care packages and see what is inside them, as well as Recon, you can use the Survey Beacon to see all enemy locations on the map and minimap. For Controller, you just have the normal ring console, which shows you the next circle. And for Support, you can craft teammates banners that have disappeared, as well as you can access blue bins, which is very cool. But now onto TDM, the permanent limited time mode rotations. So at the launch of Revelry, we'll be debuting Team Deathmatch to Apex Legends, a no holds barred between two teams of 6, which will be available for the first 3 weeks of the season. This has been our most requested mode, and we're excited for players to check it out. They say in Team Deathmatch, players will be able to select their Legend and weapon loadout similar to Control, with respawns occurring automatically after death. The first team to score 30 kills wins the round, and the first team to win 2 rounds wins the match. Loadouts will shuffle in between rounds, and you can always swap between them and your selected Legend while waiting to respawn after death. Make sure to keep an eye out for periodic airdrops throughout the map, which come loaded with care package and gold kitted weapons. Now onto the mixtape playlist. So they say following the first 3 weeks of TDM, we're thrilled to introduce a brand new playlist and way to enjoy some of our more highly requested LTMs on a permanent rotation with our mixtape playlist. This new mode queue provides players with the opportunity to jump right into frenetic and engaging combat experiences between our quick respawn mode, Control, TDM, and Gun Run. These modes give ample opportunity to experience and practice with weapons and Legends outside of our core BR experience, with little downtime between fights and respawns. But now onto the new weapon Nemesis. They say it's been a while since we unleashed a new weapon, and that wait will be over when Revelry launches with a new energy weapon. The Nemesis, a new energy class assault rifle that fires 4 rounds per burst with a ramping burst delay that decreases the time between bursts and simulates a fully automatic weapon. We're hoping to see this potentially unseat favorite standbys like the R99 and Flatline. Next, we do have the Anniversary Collection event. They say this month is also the 4th anniversary of Apex Legends, and we're celebrating with the Anniversary Collection event featuring an all-new community content reward track and lots of celebrations happening in the game, including login rewards during the first 2 weeks of the season, with week 1 featuring Crypto Unlocked and 1 Crypto thematic pack for all players that log in, and week 2 unlocking Ash plus 1 Ash thematic pack for all players that log in. Also, every map in the rotation will have special decorations and will have the return of a fan favorite that will reveal closer to the launch. Next, we have some brand new ones. We have the firing range update. So I'll show on screen, they do actually have some new settings for you guys because they added options to customize your firing range experience. So dummies can now strafe left and right. You control how fast they move, whether they should crouch, and their shield level. Dynamic stats appear anytime you deal damage, letting you track your performance. Also, hit indicators help you keep track of spray patterns. Also, you have unlimited ammo, and that means you don't have any more trips back to the gun racks to reload. Lastly, they say this is the first of several rounds of updates to the firing range, so we will keep an eye on how the community uses these new tools. So I think this is actually really amazing that you can change so much about firing range now, as well as customize the dummies and practice strafing and all that good stuff. I think that is actually an amazing change for firing range, and I'm excited to see what else they have in store for firing range. But for now, this is definitely a great update in Season 16. Next, they do go over orientation matches. They say new to the Outlands, try the new orientation match system meant to create an easy introduction where new players can get their bearings and learn the core mechanics of Apex Legends. To participate in orientation matches, you have to be a brand new player or party up with a new player to take out some bots before joining the regular matchmaking queue. Obviously, it is great that bots will only be in orientation matches for brand new players. But now onto the rest, which includes the new legendary shotgun bolt, as well as a bunch of other stuff like weapon nerfs and legend buffs and nerfs and all of that good stuff. So starting off with the new legendary shotgun bolt, they say the new shotgun bolt rarity tier has been added to the floor and crafters. So while you have this on, the gold perk automatically reloads rounds while sliding. It activates while equipped or stowed, so that is going to be very useful for shotguns. Next, we have the care package rotation. The Hemlock Burst AR has entered the care package, while the Rampage LMG has entered the floor loot. Next, we have the weapon crafting rotation. So the Longbow DMR has entered the crafter, as well as the Volt SMG has entered the crafter, while the G7 Scout returns to the floor and the Car SMG returns to the floor. Next, we have the gold weapon rotation. So these weapons will be fully kitted out throughout the map, and that does include the Nemesis, Rampage, PK, Wingman, and R99. So definitely a solid weapon rotation for gold fully kitted out weapons, especially since they have the Wingman, R99, and PK in there, as well as the new weapon, of course. But next we have the Anvil Receiver hop-up for the R301 and Flatline. It has actually been removed entirely from floor loot and crafting, but we do have a new hop-up, or an old hop-up returning. The Hammer Point Rounds hop-up for the Mozambique and P2020 has been added to floor loot and crafting, and the rarity tier has increased to legendary. So next we have the Car SMG, which has been changed. They have reduced the base ammo capacity to 19 when it was 20. So a slight, very slight nerf to the Car SMG because the ammo capacity is one lower than it was previously. Next we have a buff for the R99. They have increased damage to the R99. It is now 12 while it was 11 previously. So a slight buff to the R99, but since it fires so fast, 1 extra damage is actually quite a lot. I'm excited to use that buff. Next, we have a change to assault rifles. They have significantly reduced hipfire accuracy, so quite a large nerf for all assault rifles. We'll have to wait and see how much that actually affects gameplay. But next, we have a change to the R301. It is a nerf. They have reduced the damage to 13 when it was previously 14, which is actually kind of disappointing, but since we have the new Nemesis Burst AR, I'm excited about that. Next, we have the Hemlock Burst AR. Since it has been added to the care package, there is a significant buff that has been added to it. So the damage has increased to 23. It was previously 20, as well as the headshot multiplier has increased to 1.8 while it was previously 1.75. They also improved recoil, and they integrated the boosted loader hop-up, which gives you faster reloads at low ammo that overload the magazine with 9 extra rounds. So solid buff for the Hemlock since it is now a care package weapon. Next, we have some changes to the Mastiff. They have adjusted the spread pattern to be tighter, as well as they added tactical stock attachments to improve reload speed and handling. And lastly, they increased the projectile size at close range. So I would say that was definitely a buff for the Mastiff. Next, we have some changes for the Peacekeeper. They did also add the tactical stock attachment to improve reload speed and handling, just like they did with the Mastiff, as well as they increased the projectile size at close range. So definitely a solid buff for the Peacekeeper, as well as they made a change to the EVA 8 where they did increase the projectile size at close range as well. So overall, shotguns have definitely been improved. It seems like that's the meta they're going for this season, some up close fights. But next onto the Rampage LMG, since it has been moved back to the floor loot, they have changed how it works. So they have reverted to the non-care package version. The damage has been reduced to 26. It was 28 while it was in the care package, as well as it no longer auto-energizes when picking up, and the energy decays slower when not firing. But now on to all of the changes, buffs, and nerfs for Legends. So starting off with Seer for the passive heartbeat sensor. The audio for Seer's passive is now more audible to enemy players, as well as activation is now delayed to match raise animation of weapon or unarmed. So whether you have a weapon or are unarmed, the activation is now delayed. Also, the lock-on indication will now only show on heartbeat cadence of target. So that is interesting to hear. But next, the tactical focus of attention, it no longer shows full body scan on scanned targets. Also, with the ultimate exhibit, it no longer reveals on initiation. Duration reduced from 30 seconds to 25 seconds, and the cooldown has increased from 120 seconds to 180 seconds. So definitely a solid nerf for Seer. I think a lot of you guys are going to be very excited about that. But now onto some changes to Bloodhound, starting off with the passive. There are now White Ravens. Ethereal White Ravens will now occasionally spawn near Bloodhound when no enemies around. White Ravens can be interacted with or scanned to trigger them to fly towards the nearest enemy player, as well as the White Raven will leave a misty trail behind for Bloodhound to follow and will share this direction with their team on the map. Also, using a White Raven will recover 25% of your tactical and ultimate charge. And lastly, scanning a White Raven will fully refund the tactical charge. So that actually does seem pretty interesting. That is quite a large change to Bloodhound. They just added something entirely new, which is the White Ravens. Next is the tactical. They have reduced the full body scan time from 3 seconds to 1 second, as well as the diamond target on the scanned enemy is unchanged. So that is actually a slight nerf to the tactical. You can only see the full body scan for 1 second now instead of 3 seconds. I'm actually kind of disappointed about that, but it is okay. Next, onto the ultimate. It no longer recharges or speeds up the cooldown rate of Bloodhound's tactical, which is a pretty big nerf, as well as it will now launch a White Raven that flies towards the nearest enemy, and killing an enemy while in Beast of the Hunt will also trigger a White Raven. So they've definitely incorporated these Ravens a lot into Bloodhound's kit. But now onto Mirage. So with the passive now, you see Mirage and his ally now remain cloaked after a revive for 3 seconds. Also, weapons remain stowed while cloaked, and drawing your weapon will remove the cloaking effect early. Next, we have the Mirage clones. Bamboozles are now only triggered by bullet fire and melee, as well as enemies who are bamboozled now receive notification on their screen, and the bamboozle icon marker now tracks the bamboozled player's movement, as well as the icon marker duration has increased from 2.5 seconds to 3.5 seconds. So overall, definitely a solid buff for Mirage. Next, onto Pathfinder, starting off with the passive. So Pathfinder's passive benefits are no longer gained by scanning survey beacons. Also, his passive benefits, ultimate charge and 10-second ultimate cooldown reduction, are now gained by revealing care packages with the skirmisher ability. Next, onto the ultimate. So the max range has increased by approximately 60%, as well as the max speed has increased by about 66%. Next, we have the acceleration and exit speed adjustments, which have been made, and the targeting improvements, including updated visual and audio cues, and you can no longer place the end station on out of bounds zones. Next, we have an update for Wraith the Ultimate. So the max portal distance has been doubled from about 76 meters to 152 meters. Also, the portal duration has reduced from 60 seconds to 45 seconds. And lastly, Wraith now increases speed over time when creating longer portals. So definitely a solid change for Wraith. But now onto Horizon, the tactical. They have increased weapon spread in the gravity lift, as well as they have increased vertical speed of the gravity lift by 10%. So not a huge change, but definitely a change for Horizon. But now onto the changes to Lifeline for the passive. They've reduced the slow penalty on Lifeline when initiating a revive. Lastly, for the ultimate, they have decreased the drop animation speed of care packages from 14 seconds to 8 seconds, as well as they have increased the deployment range of the care package, which is a solid buff to Lifeline's care package. But that is all of the buffs and nerfs to Legends. But next, they do have the ranked map rotation. So the ranked queue will now rotate through all maps in play 24 hours per map. The maps for the first split are World's Edge, Storm Point, and Broken Moon. So that is interesting. It does seem like we might have different maps for the second split, which I didn't think we actually would have, since they would be switching every 24 hours now, but it does seem like we will get different maps for the second split. Next, onto the Live API 2.0. So they say the official release of version 2.0 of Live API for PC has previewed during the 15.1.2 update, but the API is a built-in mechanism for listening to gameplay events and programmatically interacting with Apex Legends. This release includes support for WebSocket server connection, support for protocol buffers to send and receive data, configuration through both command line and JSON, as well as 12 new API requests, including 2 gameplay requests, change camera and pause toggle, and 10 lobby requests specifically for custom matches. I honestly don't really know what all of that means, but I think it is a good change. Next, we have the quality of life changes. They have added map rotation previews to the game mode selector in the lobby, as well as players can now be in any team in Gun Run. Previously, everybody would just be Wolf Team or something like that, and it would just show up differently for other players on their screens, but now you can actually be on any team. Next, they have also increased the odds of becoming Team Nessie in Gun Run, which is pretty funny to hear, and Team Nessie is now viewable for all teams. They also added new indicator on the HUD unit frames for the ratings leader in Control, as well as consumables now show a progress bar for teammates next to their unit frame on the HUD, similar to reviving. Also, they added damage to the scoreboard in in control, and they increase the minimum distance between airdropped replicators and other airdrops. Next, we have map features. When accessing the full map now reflect currently selected class perk info. Additionally, the hot zone map feature description is removed from the full map while the hot zone is hidden from the map. Next, we have when in firing range, players now regain full health and shields when they reselect their legend in the legend select menu, as well as they added the ability to ping for an optic even if the optic attachment slot is filled. Next, they slightly increased audio for enemies attaching, writing, and detaching zip rails. And lastly, they added credits to items inspired and designed by creators. Also, they did make a ton of bug fixes, but I'll just go ahead and show those on screen. This video would be insanely long if I covered every single bug fix, but that's all of the patch notes we do have for Season 16. Make sure to let me know down in the comment section below, what do you guys think? What buff and nerf are you guys most excited for? I bet a lot of you guys will say the Seer nerf, or potentially Wraith or Pathfinder buff, or maybe even the R99 buff, or just the new weapon in general. Make sure to let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. And if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button. It really does help me out seeing your feedback on the videos. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. It is the best way to support me, and all you guys got to do is click that subscribe button. It is free and extremely easy. So make sure to hit that sub button. But it's been your boy Seth Lee, and I'm out.